Hey folks, this is Kyle from KCM Spirits, and I wanted to give you the chance to see something new. I've never done any video blogs or anything like that for KCM, but we have a couple of exciting things happening in the next few months, and so I figured I'd try something new just to get things going. Um, I wanted to talk about obviously what's happening in March and April, but I also wanted to talk a little bit about what just happened and where things will be going. So, in the month of February, very end, we actually had a rum tasting and it went phenomenally. We had a turnout of about 15 people, which is, I would say, average for KCM, but a very new group of people with new faces and a really positive reception. One of the most stellar expressions that we offered at that tasting was the Appleton Estate 21 year. You can see it was a favorite there, and it was opened the same time that it was tasted, so it was really exciting for everybody. Um, this rum is an exceptionally complex and interesting spirit with a wide variety of fruity flavors and some light sugar with complementary dryness, and I think everybody appreciated what it was worth, and a lot of people were leaning towards that as their favorite for the night. It just does a great job of offering a lot of um, different flavors and ideas to the drinker. So really good expression. If you didn't get a chance to try it and you're interested, let us know. We try and save a little bit for a while, and if you are interested in trying it but you weren't at the tasting, we would be happy to try and arrange something where we can sit down with you and give you a sampling. Okay, and that's true of every tasting, and we hope that everybody who doesn't make it doesn't give up hope that they can experience what there is to try for that tasting. um, Moving into March, we're in March, and on March 23rd we're going to be offering our first um, Scotch tasting of 2016, and honestly the first tasting we've done of Scotch in quite a while. We have some very interesting stuff that we're tasting. We have some of the standard expressions like the Old Pulteney 12 year, and we're actually going to be featuring Old Pulteney, so this is pretty much going to be what you're going to see at the tasting. But then we are going to do the 17 and 21 year, which are phenomenal whiskeys, some of my personal favorites. And we're also going to be doing some limited edition stuff. The Old Pulteney 30 year, which is an extremely expensive and hard to obtain bottle. So if you're interested in trying something very old and something that you wouldn't normally buy, then this would be the tasting for you. But we're also going to try an exclusive UK edition whiskey, is the Old Pulteney 1990, aged about 23 years, lightly peated, and it has some sherry and bourbon cask aging. So very interesting bottle there. Old Pulteney has a great history of doing really quality bottlings with some saltiness, some brininess, and a good combination of that really upfront malt with just a tad of some fruitiness and sometimes some upfront vanilla. But it's just a great Scotch and a great distillery that's really no nonsense type stuff. Now, I just opened the 12 year here just to talk a little bit about what you experience up front. And every time I've bought a bottle of 12 year in the last 2 years or so, it starts off pretty shy. It smells a little younger than it is, but there's a lot of nuttiness. The maltiness is there. And then there's that suppressed, salty, briny, sea, ocean type, smell to it, which will most certainly come through in the taste. And And I'll say the nuttiness that I'm experiencing now is a lot more upfront than what I've experienced in the past. I expect that after a little while it will settle down, but it's certainly enjoyable for where it is. Just a well-rounded flavor. Um, Really good entry scotch at 12 years and $43. Nowadays, I'm seeing scotches at 12 years get upwards of $80 with no selling point, not cask strength, not even bottled above 40%. Um, just nonsense marketing stuff like is becoming more prominent. So this is a very good expression to kind of get started with. It's honestly pretty approachable. You get that great maltiness, and it's not too intense. It's well crafted, so you don't get that alcohol burn that you would get with something that you paid $15, $16 for. Um, so, this is a great entry, but when you get into the 17, the 21, and I haven't had the 23 or the 30, but you will find a lot more compelling things happening there than maybe you have with this. So if you're interested, March 23rd is the date. Please let us know. We'll be tasting 5 Old Pultenays, and like every tasting we have, it's very upfront and personal. It's not formal. It's not something that you need to be an expert for, and we want you to be comfortable and happy. And everybody has a good time. Nobody gets reckless, and there's there's something there for everybody. People end up bringing different bottles, things that they love, and we always encourage that, right? This one's going to be $30 per person, which is a little more expensive than some of the other ones. But part of that is because the 30-year bottle is so expensive for us, and we normally lose money on these tastings, so we're trying to counteract some of that. And all of those funds, every dime of it, goes back into this so that we can keep hosting more tastings for you. And then I wanted to talk about what's happening in April, because for the first time, we're actually not limited to our venue, because, well, KCM is buying a house, not specifically for KCM, but we will have a place to consistently hold tastings without it being too crammed, and that's great news. So, with that being said, we're actually going to be hosting a blended Scotch maker tasting in April, and that's going to include a bunch of offerings from our good friends at Compass Box, run by John Glasser. And this guy knows how to make whiskey. So this is actually a bottling that I've never had. This is Orangerie. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's a blended Scotch. But it's infused with some interesting spices and with orange zest, and so it's kind of that spin on maybe those Scotch liqueurs like Drambuie that you might have. I've never had it, so I poured a glass of it here to kind of show you my initial reactions. But we're also going to have some of their more classic Scotch offerings, like this, which is a blended Scotch that's been aged in sherry casks and peated. So it's like 70% malt whiskey and 30% grain whiskey. And that's what blending is. It's the combination of grain and malt whiskey. And then it's 43%. So we're really excited to try this. This will be a good, exciting bottling. And then we're also going to have some of their blended malts, right? The things that are 100% malt but come from different distilleries. This is a good example that I have had. This is Spice Tree, and it's a phenomenal, spicy, personality-filled expression that really has a lot of different things in it. So, they're really transparent with their bottlings. This is 46% non-chill filtered, natural color. It's all really good stuff, and it really holds up on its own. So, and it's affordable too. It's $60 for a single malt. I mean, no, blended malt, I guess. That's not bad. And then we'll have some more premium stuff as well. We actually got a hold of the limited edition. I think this is the 15-year anniversary, but a really cool bottling. They did a lot with the design. Bottled July 2015. It's Flaming Heart. I've not had this edition, but I've had the last two, and they are some of the better whiskeys I've had in my life. So, Flaming Heart, by every stretch of the imagination, is worth trying. Even if you don't like peated stuff, which this is peated, it's worth trying. It just has a good feel to it and tastes good. It's bottled at 48.9%. We'll be opening it for the tasting, and I think everybody will be really excited for it. We don't have the date in April. I didn't mention that, but we will be getting that very soon. We have one more person who's reached out to us, expressed an interest in hosting a tasting, and so I have to figure out if they're going to be doing it or not for this one, because they wanted to do bourbon. But anyway, Compass Box is a great blending company, very transparent, does good work. I haven't seen any age statements out of them, which is a shame, but there might be a reason for that. Age statements aren't necessarily the pinnacle of all things, but they are nice to have. But anyway, so I'll give you my first impressions of Orangery because I haven't tried it yet, and kind of give you some feedback. This is interesting because I never wanted to buy this bottle because I thought it was kind of gimmicky, but I think it will be a good demonstration of kind of, are they no nonsense? What's going on with them? And something for you to look forward to, or not. Maybe this ruins my April tasting. Well, I'm not surprised to report that orange is prominent in the nose. Kind of scary prominent, to the point where I don't know that I'm getting as much of the Scotch element that I would be hoping for. Very, very zesty. You can tell that there are spices involved. There's clove in there, and that comes out a little bit, but it is very buried by the orange zest. I'm going to assume, and, God hope I'm right, that as this opens up, this was just opened right before this video, that it will provide you a very more balanced, offering. It is 40%, which is not impressive. But, I guess if you're thinking of this as a liqueur, that's a lot better. But at $50, it's even more expensive than Drambuie. So, yeah, that orange pretty much covers up everything. So let's hope the taste is a little more telling. Well, I have to think about it for a second before I speak, make sure I'm not jumping the gun too much. Yeah, I guess I'm still getting a lot of orange. You do get some Scotch to it. It is a little boozy, not necessarily in a good way. Hopefully it'll open up prior to the tasting, but if not, this might not even be part of it. The other thing is that the hope was maybe if this isn't a good sipper, it'll be good on the rocks or good in a rusty nail style drink. So there's some interesting spins that this could take. I'm not a particular fan of going outside the Scotch traditional walls in terms of, honey Scotch or whatever else, the trends, the cherry flavoring or the maple flavoring or whatever. But, I guess with Compass Box, I was hoping to see something a little different. And I guess for what it's worth right now, I can't get a lot outside of really what it was accented with, and that's a shame because the whiskey should be the showcase. But I'll try some different things with this and figure out where it stands. I'll probably bring it just for entertainment value, but I don't know if it'll be a centerpiece in comparison to the much more well-crafted stuff that I've tasted from them. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, please reach out to us if you have any questions or if you're interested in any of the tastings. They're all hosted in Kalamazoo right now, so but we are thinking about maybe having a counter tasting in the east side of the state as well, because we have some good friends and family in that world. So, you know, if you like this and this is something you want to continue to see out of us, these you know, occasional videos, let me know. Let us know, and we'll keep keeping you informed. Okay, thank you, and keep sipping.